It's time to take a look at Charch's Crush Charch Challenge roster for Week 3, but first, why don't you tell us how it works?
Yeah, the Crush Charch Challenge. You can play by going to grainbelt.com, look for the little Crush Charch Challenge icon in the upper right-hand corner, click on that, and you will see my roster. You build your own roster. Pick anybody you want other than the identical roster that I've got, and you get the opportunity then to play against me. Every point by which your team beats my team gives you one entry into the end of week drawing that we've got. So beat me by 40 points, you get 40 entries. Beat me by 1 point, you get 1 entry. One person is chosen. That person gets to go to the end of season winners banquet at Manny's and a chance for the $2,000 grand prize. The Crush Charch Challenge is totally free, brought to you by the great people at Grainbelt. So let's go to my roster for this week.
First QB you got, Andrew Luck for the Colts going against the Jags.
Andrew Luck, a couple of good games already this season for Andrew Luck. Goes up against a Jaguars secondary that has been brutal so far through 2 games. This feels like one of the best starts of the year for Andrew Luck.
Bit of a slow start maybe for Drew Brees. He gets the Vikings this week.
He does, and it has been a slow start for Drew Brees, but it's been 2 road games. Drew Brees is awesome at home. Last year averaging over 3.5 touchdowns per home game. And here come the Vikings licking their wounds after a pretty dreadful performance last week. A great opportunity for Drew Brees.
The Bengals receiving core really banged up, so maybe more pass-catching opportunities for your top running back, Gio Bernard.
Gio Bernard. When you play against the Tennessee Titans, it's all about what you're going to do on the ground. We saw it last week when Dallas took on Tennessee. Big game from DeMarco Murray. Same thing coming from Gio Bernard. Tennessee's a great pass defense. They are a way below average run defense. Gio Bernard will be the focal point of that rushing attack.
And in that high-powered Eagles offense, you have LeSean McCoy going against Washington.
I do. You know, LeSean McCoy has got a great history against Washington, and while Darren Sproles takes more than I would like out of his stat line every week, it's still a very good opportunity for an elite running back.
This guy has probably been in beast mode since day one this year. DeMarco Murray with the Cowboys going up against the Rams, who are probably going to be playing defense most of that game.
Yeah, I think so. DeMarco Murray he's the focal point of this Dallas offense, and he's run about as well as any running back in the league so far this year. Goes up against a Rams defense that's just middle of the road. So I liked him. I like DeMarco Murray a lot in this one.
Arian Foster, there are a lot of red flags for him going into the year, but he's holding up healthy and he's running that show.
You know, most of our concern on Arian Foster was durability. He's healthy now, so let's play him while he's healthy. He's been a great fantasy find for people thus far. Some point you might need his backup, which is Alfred Blue, but we don't yet. Goes up against the Giants, and the way you attack the Giants is also on the ground. Another good secondary. So we'll stick with the hot hand here.
There you go,
Arian Foster.
NFC North shootout probably here. Calvin Johnson, Megatron, going against the Packers.
It's Calvin Johnson. I don't have to give you a reason to start him. And it's the Packers. He has a great track record against the Packers as well. And it's Calvin Johnson in what will probably be a high-scoring affair.
Another guy that needs really no introduction, Dez Bryant. He gets the Rams.
Yeah, he gets the Rams. And, you know, the Rams are all about creating pressure up front with their really good front four, even without Chris Long. But if they don't get pressure, their secondary is terrible. And Dez Bryant can easily beat that secondary. So for any time they aren't actively sacking Tony Romo, I like Dez Bryant.
Brandon Marshall, he had the bad ankle, but he was still able to carve up the Niners defense for a few touchdowns in that comeback win.
Yeah.
Looking maybe a little bit healthier going against a tough Jets defense, but the secondary has looked terrible.
Yeah, it's all about the Jets secondary. This is a team that you pass on to succeed. You don't necessarily run on the Jets nearly as well as Eddie Lacy found out last week. So this is the go-to guy in a very competent passing offense led by Jay Cutler. And if he can score 3 touchdowns hobbling around, dragging one leg behind him, then I think Brandon Marshall will be that much better with the extra rest that he's going to get playing on Monday night.
If you're riding Drew Brees, you might as well ride his slot receiver, Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks goes up against the Vikings. And, you know, the key here is to get Cooks' looks away from Captain Munnerlyn. Munnerlyn's going to be in the slot. That's Marcus Colston is the slot guy. So now I want to match up Brandon Cooks against Josh Robinson or Xavier Rhodes. Xavier Rhodes was, frankly, humiliated last Sunday. Let's see how Brandon Cooks does. He's off to a great start to his rookie year.
Rob Gronkowski, he's healthy so far going against the Raiders.
Yeah, Patriots didn't need Rob Gronkowski to do much last week because they were out ahead of the Vikings early in a game they controlled throughout. So they didn't need to use him a lot. That may not be the case here against Oakland. Not that Oakland's great, but I do believe we're going to see a lot more of Rob Gronkowski as he's one game healthier on the knee that he's recovering from.
And this is just a permanent fixture in
It
the
is.
Crush Charge Challenge lineup,
Yes.
Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham. Vikings always have trouble against the tight ends anyway, and it's Jimmy Graham. And, again, don't need to really explain that one much.
Sticking with the same legs, too, in the kicker department.
I tend to do that a lot.
He missed one on Monday night, but Cody
Yeah.
Parkey still had a pretty good fantasy night.
He still made a couple others. Cody Parkey. I always, for kickers, I look for points, and I see plenty of points coming from the Eagles. It's always, they spread the ball around to so many different guys. It's hard to know who's going to have the big game from the Eagles. Is it going to be Macklin or Sproles or LeSean McCoy or Riley Cooper or Zach Ertz? You don't always know. But the one guy that always benefits is the kicker, Cody Parkey. So he's my kicker this week against Washington.
And Stephen Gostkowski, of course, the Patriots are going to score on the Raiders. So.
Patriots are going to score on the Raiders, and Gostkowski is money. Makes the vast majority of his kicks, one of the most accurate. He's got a long leg. There's nothing not to like about Gostkowski.
All right, the challenge has been issued. Get over to grainbelt.com. Set your roster against his. Good luck.